All right, all right. Here with Sergio and Lewis. All right. And correct me if I'm wrong. Now, we're talking about the first deal, right?
Yeah.
First deal. All right. So talk to me, guys. I mean, are you guys like
Yeah.
same city? Are you like, I know you're business partners. So how's all that working out?
So we're business partners. We're in the same city. We went to middle school and high school together. We've been best friends since middle school. And he learned about wholesaling through TikTok. He saw one of your videos, and he got really interested by obviously the TikTok videos showing how you can make money from flipping homes with no money. And he got did his own research and everything. And then he texted me and called me, and he said, "Dude, like check this out,"
Yeah.
And I was like, he had told me about he had told me about drop shipping before, and it's a good source of income, but this one just caught my eye more because I've always wanted to do something with real estate. And he told me about it, and I was like, dude, like, let's go, let's do it. And I automatically started calling people from Zillow, and with the realtors and everything. He was like, no, slow down, like we need to learn first. And that's where your course came in, and we learned from your course that he won on a giveaway, and that set the foundation for everything. We learned the basics of wholesaling and how to generate leads, Wi-Fi strategy. And yeah, I mean, that's how we got started into this. We partnered up, and we said we want to start a wholesaling business.
Guys, I'm telling you, I love this. I love hearing these stories. Yeah, because that's right, Lewis. That's right. You're one of the giveaway winners on TikTok that won the virtual course, right? Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, I was blowing up your TikTok. I was blowing up your TikTok trying to get your attention. I was like, I hope I get it. And I got it. And as soon as I did, then I talked to Sergio and I was like, look, dude, like check it out. And so he was watching it and I was watching it and we were both taking notes, trying to get the most out of it. And yeah, we ran with it and we got our first deal.
Man, I love this, guys. I love this. So that wasn't that long ago either. So how long from like when you got the course until now, like was it that you actually like closed the first deal?
Well, it took a while to close on the deal because we had a few issues with the property.
Oh, some
But
type of issues.
yeah, no, some issues with the tenants. The tenants were they're crazy, and we had a no one was willing to take the property if the tenants were in there. So we really wanted to make this work, so we had to figure something out with the tenants.
Yeah.
So from that time, it might have taken like 2-3 months to close it since we got the course.
Right.
If that
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you lock up the deal though? Like how long was it until you locked up the deal?
So what we did was we went to go driving for dollars and found properties that looked distressed, and we took down the addresses through the app, and we got all the information, skip traced all the numbers, and we did mass texting to see who would be interested in selling their home. And he texted us, saying contact my brother, we're interested. And we got a hold of the brother. Obviously, like every scenario, they always want too much at first. They wanted $200,000 for the property at first, and Luis was like, "Yeah, they're not gonna sell it for 200,000. Like, don't even bother with them." And I followed up with them a week later, and I was like, "Hey, like, how's selling your house going? Is it going all right? Like, are you having trouble selling it? Because I'm still really interested." And he texted me, telling me, "I think I can get my brother to go down to 170." And we needed to be, well, we thought we needed to be in the 160 area at that time, and we're like, we're not that far off.
Right.
So I was like, look, can we meet in person? Can we go look at the property? And he was like, sure, let's go meet in person. And we got there. He said we're not gonna be able to go inside because of the tenants. But Luis was like, can we try to talk to them? And Luis went to go knock at the door. He said, look, can we go inside? I get you have problems with
I love this.
I get you have problems with the landlord, but look, we're here to help y'all as well. So can we pay you $40 just to take a quick look and some photos? And they said cash up front, and he took out his
No,
wallet.
hold on. Go back a second. Go back a second.
No, they're serious.
So hold on. So you actually offered them money to go inside and take some photos? Is that what you just said?
We
Yeah.
took the
Well,
risk.
one of the things that happened was as soon as we walked in, there was just loud music playing, right? And so the house outside was a mess. Like there was trash everywhere. Like it was horrible.
Yeah,
And so when we walked in, we heard the music and we heard screaming and me and him, we got scared. We were like, dude, like, should we
Looks
really
like
do
a
this?
little shady in here.
I mean, I'm 18 and he's
Yeah,
19. And we've
yeah.
never done this
And he did.
before, and he opens the door and you hear the loud music. He starts screaming at us like, "What do y'all want?" And I backed up a bit, 'cause I was scared. And one of our friends that came,
All he was wearing all that he was wearing was just a sweater, but not even like on. Like he just wrapped it around his hand, like his waist. So it was like, wow, it was scary, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's intimidating. I mean, and that's the thing. Like in this business, doing
yeah,
the in-persons, you can run into some shady stuff, man. I mean, you really can, and obviously, just in the real estate business in general, like stuff can happen with agents that you hear, whatever. But it's very rare that happens. I mean. But yeah, you can run into some stuff. I remember not long ago, I went to an in-person appointment at like a Satan worshiper's house. And it was some pretty sketchy stuff going on in there. But the longer you do this business, a lot of people are like, dude, you should write a book, because I went to a lot of in-persons before I went like more virtual over the
yeah.
years. And man, just some of the stories are, just hilarious, man. Some of the stuff you run into.
oh yeah, and it was funny because our friend that's a realtor, he came to help us, do an analysis and everything, and help us with the numbers. And he saw that the guy was screaming at us with the sweater covering his stuff, and he was like, "Guys, are y'all sure it's safe to go in there? Like, I wouldn't go in there if I were y'all." And now that I'm looking at it, we did take that risk, not knowing if we would lock it up under contract. Paying the guy $40 and not knowing what he could do. We went inside, but we went in there, took some photos, and we went outside when the seller got there, and we were like, oh yeah, we were able to go inside, and we locked it up under contract in the driveway. We were just negotiating outside, and he was about to leave, saying, "Let me think about it." Let me think about your offer, and I'm
Right.
coming. And I didn't want him to go home and have time to think about it. Like, I knew we were a little high, but I just wanted to get him under contract. And I said, look, we'll meet halfway, but like, let's get this done and let's get it under contract. And he said, okay, like shoot me an email with your contract and everything. And we locked it up after going inside the property and just knowing what we're going to get ourselves into.
So you took the risk and it paid off, right? So, dude,
yeah.
I love it, man. I mean, so that's crazy. I'm just thinking of how many people probably wouldn't have done that. And, that just shows to me, like, you guys, like, your passion to, like, get it done, right? Like, it goes back to being fully committed, right?
Yeah.
Making that commitment and actually following it all the way through. And, you even risked, like, a little bit of money just to go in there and roll the dice. And it worked out well, which is awesome. I commend you guys. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that would have just been, oh, this is a little too difficult, or, and then they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. And, you guys are a testament to what happens when you make that commitment, and then you just keep pushing. And then look what happened, right? Like, I mean, you ended up, it was what, $12,000 deal, right? It was 12 grand. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's more than I made on my first deal. I mean, I only made $4,000 on my first deal. Right. And it actually took me longer than it took you guys. Right. So congratulations, guys. I'm excited for you. So walk me through, and I know, Sergio, you were already kind of doing it. I know you did the mass texting and everything else. That's how you got the deal, the Wi-Fi strategy. So what did it look like on the dispo side? What did you guys do to find a buyer?
So Luis was mostly, he worked mostly on finding our buyer. I was working with mostly with acquisition, so he could tell you a little bit more about that. because I know he worked a lot with advertising the property on Facebook.
And so
Yeah.
that's the split, right? Your acquisitions and he's dispo.
Yeah, we were kind of switching around and trying to figure it out, but yeah, we figured that that's what was working best, at least in this case. But to find a buyer, all we did was just I joined like 3 or 4 groups of real estate here in Facebook, and I just joined and I looked for cash buyers. I put a post and I said, look, I have this property under contract in this area. Like, if you want more info, like send me your email. And I got maybe like 20 or 30 people to send me their emails. And Austin is a really hot market. I don't know if you've worked here.
It is really, really hot. Yeah, I have a private coaching student there that's a realtor, and she does over 100 like just like normal real estate transactions alone.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
So yeah, I drafted up an email and I sent it to everyone, and then everyone hit me back, and Sergio sent out a few emails too. And when our first buyer came with Sergio, so Sergio, we invited everyone to come to the property on a certain day, and we had a few people show up, and then we got it locked up for 160. Well, so what happened was we were too high. We were at 162.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our highest offer was at 160.
Yeah.
So we decided to renegotiate because we weren't aware of the fact that it was in a flooding zone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a big thing when we were showing it to people. And so we went back to the seller, we renegotiated, and we came down to 150 and then locked it up for 160. And then we had a few issues with the buyer because of the tenants. And he
Dude that was wearing the sweater around his junk. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what the issue was that so we helped. So it was a grandma and the grandson.
Okay.
And they couldn't move out. So me and Sergio went and helped them move out. We got a U-Haul truck and paid for the motel because we were like, look, we're already too deep. Like, let's just go all in.
We got to see this all the way through now.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I can't get the smell out of the house from moving everything out ourselves. Like, it was just bad. But, you know, like you were saying, you know, we needed to do everything we could to get it done. And
yeah,
it was a mess, but
yeah, dude, you know, there's multiple things I just wanted to touch on really quick. And one, you know, everyone is always saying, oh, you know, it's hard. Like, there's no deals like in this market or that market is too hot. There's too many people doing it. Austin, I know for a fact, is one of the hottest markets in the entire country, right? Like, by far, right? And so you guys, 18, 19, best friends, partner up, right? And literally do a deal within a few months, right? So it's like all that, I mean, it's just not reality. It's like, it's so much of like the mindset. There's enough deals out there for everybody. Like, you just got to go out there and put in the work. And then number two, like, you guys actually played this deal like a very seasoned wholesaler that really, really like has done a lot of deals. Like, you went out there, you're like, all right, so now you need help moving. Let me move you out. Like, let me do this, let me do that. So you truly did what wholesaling is about, and you provided solutions, right? Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm trying to like lowball you and, you know, get it at this crazy deal and this and that and the other. It was like you actually helped somebody out of, you know what I mean, a bad situation, which is awesome, guys. Awesome. You should feel so proud of yourself for being able to do that and seeing that through. I mean, that's incredible. And then the other thing is like, you actually successfully went back and renegotiated your first deal and got it, what, another $10,000 lower, right? Or $12,000 lower. So you actually went back and got your fee to make the deal work. How did that conversation go? How did that, because I already know, I'm sure it's good.
it was so the seller's brother, he had just gotten out of surgery, and he was like, he didn't want to talk to anyone. So I told Luis, I was like, dude, like we can't move forward if we can't renegotiate, right? Because it's not worth it if we can't get an assignment fee, you know? So let's not start moving people out or anything until we can get this done. And I had talked to a guy I met off of a real estate event talking about, because he was renegotiating a deal as well too. And I was like, how do I need to do this? Like, tell me what I need to say, because one bad word or one bad phrase can mess up everything. And, you know, he was telling me you need to reset his expectations and you need to tell him why you need to be lower. And I remember telling him, look, like, I called him and I told him, hey man, how you doing? I just want to tell you everything's good to go. The only thing is we came across, you know, a few issues, you know, it's in a flood zone and we, you know, there's more repair costs than, you know, we thought there was initially. And I just kept naming things that needed to be repaired and, you know, just issues that are needed to be fixed and how much it was going to cost. So he could say, you know, so he could think himself like, oh, I don't want to put that money in myself. And he told me, you know, we need to be at 150. And I told him, look, we need to be at 140 just to reset his expectations. And he himself told me, no, like the least I'll do is 150. But I wanted to see if we could get a little lower, obviously, right, to see if we can make a little more. But, you know, it was a week of negotiating, like just calling back, like, hey, like, come on, I'm ready to lock it up. Let's do it. And at last, we decided, look, he's not going to go lower from 150. Let's still do it at 150. We're going to make $10,000 to $12,000, and it's going to be a good deal. And I said, okay, like, let me send you the contract right now. We'll do it at 150. I checked with my guys, and we could do those numbers. And we got the contract signed, you know, the amendment for the renegotiation, and everything went well after that. But we, like he was saying, we did run into some issues with our buyer. He was the one that gave us problems at the end, and it was I think that's what, you know, sort of dragged it along as well. It took longer than it should have because of our buyer. Because I felt that, you know, we're new to the game. People could smell it. You know, real estate investors can smell it when you're new to the game, and a lot of them will try to take advantage of you. You know,
Sure.
because we had many people that told us, look, we could do 153, but that's the most you're going to get out of it. And I'll hook you up with the connections and everything and all of this. And there's many people that try to lowball us, and we went with our gut and we said, look, we can get higher. You know, keep shooting us your offer. Like, is that the best you could do? And, you know, this guy, we found out he was double closing the property, so to make more profit for himself. And, you know, at first he had told me he was an end buyer, because I had other people that told me that, you know, we're going to double close on it. And I was like, look, I get it, it's part of the business, but we just don't want to work with someone that double closes.
Sure.
We want to work with an end buyer to get the most out of the property. And Luis could tell you about how we found out. It was pretty iconic about how we found out and how we found our actual buyer. You could tell him, bro. It was.
So we're both out of Austin. We're on like the outside of Austin, and this property is in Austin. So I called them and I was like, dude, we need to go and lock the board up the windows. And he didn't want to go, but I was like, bro, I already took off of work to go today because that's what we had agreed on.
Yeah.
And I was getting upset, and he was seeing that. So he was like, fine, let's go right now. So we took the drive, we put up some more wood so the tenant wouldn't come back in.
Yeah.
And in that time, a guy comes up, and he's walking his dog, right? In shorts.
Literally
And
shorts
we're
and stuff.
outside. And we have the hammers, the nails, we're just in there. And he's like, hey, did you guys buy the house? We're like, no, we have it under contract. He's like, oh, are you guys gonna buy it? And we were like, no, we're gonna sign it. And he was like, oh, did you find a buyer? And we just kept going back and forth. And turns out this guy had been trying to get this exact property for a while, and he couldn't get it. For some reason, he couldn't get it. And so we kept in touch, and I explained the situation, and I was like, look, we already have someone, but if they fall through, which we think they will, we'll let you know. And so he went home. I sent him the details. He was like, look, I can do higher, and I can guarantee that I'll close before Christmas. And we're like, okay. And then later that day, we were still at the property. The people who were going to buy the property off of our buyer pulled up. And then that's when we found out.
Yeah.
No.
So we were like, oh, they're gonna double close on it, you know, like we
So
didn't
he
really.
was another wholesaler that just happened to be in that neighborhood, that lived
Yeah,
in that neighborhood, that was like, oh, I've been trying to get this property. Obviously, didn't try
yeah,
hard enough, right? Like you guys didn't even live in that neighborhood, and you like went over there, knocked on the door, and made it happen.
yeah.
And then he ended up double closing it and making some more money, even on top of what you guys
No, no. So our original buyer was gonna double close on it, right?
made. Okay.
And then we didn't really like that because he lied to us about it. And his issue was that the people who were gonna buy it off of him wanted to get an eviction letter from the court. But the seller didn't want to go through with it anymore. So then they kind of were a little bit off, you know, they didn't want
Okay.
to take the risk.
Right.
So the guy walking by, he's the guy who actually closed on the property. So we terminated our contract with the first buyer
Got
and
you.
went with the second buyer. If that makes sense.
And that was for more money, the second buyer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how much was the first buyer under contract?
160. 160.
160. Okay. So then this guy paid 162.
Yeah. Hmm.
Got you. And that guy actually had cash and was a real.
Yeah. Yeah. He does a lot of burr, and
Oh,
he said he has like 10 properties in that area. So he was like,
nice.
this property would be perfect for me because I'm already in the area. So
I love it, guys. I love
yeah.
it. Talk to me. I know Sergio, you had mentioned something to me the other day, brother, that you guys had just were about to or did lock up another deal. Did that happen or?
Yeah, I actually have to go to his property after this call to go get the contract signed, since we tried to do it through DocuSign, but he didn't really know how to use it. So
Nice.
I'm gonna go over there after this call, print out the contract and get it signed. And it's another property here. It's a quick fix. It's a good rental property. And we found our buyer through a real estate investor event. And he was really interested. He was like, guys, like, I really want to work on this property. Like, if you guys can get it done, I'd be glad to buy it off of y'all. And well, we just need to get the contract signed. I need to go see him in person and get it locked up. But I was out of the city and it was Christmas and we couldn't go. But I'm gonna go get that locked up right now after this call.
Guys, like, come on. I'm loving this. I'm loving this, man. This is awesome. I mean, what are the plans for you guys moving forward? Like, I mean, are you trying to turn this into a bigger operation? You trying to maybe take more of the, hey, keep it small and you know what I mean? Like more about profit, do a few deals a month kind of thing on your own, or you guys want to like scale this thing up?
Yeah, we had this conversation a few days ago because we started listening to a lot of podcasts, and in some of the podcasts you meet people who are wholesaling but small, and then
Yeah.
people who are doing like nationwide campaigns and stuff.
Yeah. We're moving nationwide in 2021.
Huh?
We're moving nationwide in 2021.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe we can do some deals in Austin together in 2021.
Yeah, for sure. If you ever want to work on here, we'll be glad to work something out.
Or even Florida. I know we're looking for deals over there too.
Oh, in Florida?
Yeah, we're looking for deals virtually.
Yeah, dude, and that's what's awesome about this business too. Is it's like similar to like e-commerce, right? Like you can run it in that type of way to where you got the entire country at your fingertips. So we're going to remove like 7 states. We came to about 7 states that we're not going to market to, but the rest of the country we will. And we're gonna keep growing it, but at the same time, I'm very cautious of, keeping it, as much of a lifestyle business as possible, because if you wanted to, you could turn this thing into, a huge, huge company. And, it just comes down to what you want. Right. So for me, I look at it like this. It isn't about like, a lot of people get caught up in like the ego side of, like when you meet another wholesaler investor, right? Like one of the first conversation topics that comes up is, oh, how many deals you do, right? Well, it's like, I've been doing this for about just over 10 years now. And, you know, I'm in a couple high level masterminds, and you would be surprised. I know people that literally do thousands of deals a year. And I know people that might only do a few deals a year, and they might make more money than those people doing, you know, hundreds of deals a year. So, you know, there's just so many ways to do it. It just comes down to what's more important, right? Does it matter like how many deals you're doing, or does it matter how much money you're making and like how it fits into the lifestyle, right? Like that you're trying to achieve. Because a lot of people get sucked into that, and it's easy, especially when you're younger, you know what I mean, to get sucked into like, oh, you know, I hear people doing, you know, 10, 20, 50 deals a month. Like, you know, I want to go out there and do that. Well, just be cautious, because there's not, just because someone's doing 50 deals a month, they might not be making as much money as you, right? Like, I mean, those expenses become great as you become scaling. You know, your marketing costs are going to go way up. Like, you know, then you got payroll, you're managing people. And I'm not trying to say any of this stuff to, you know what I mean, scare you guys in any kind of way, but just like shedding some wisdom of like doing this for, you know, 10 freaking years, that, you know, a lot comes with it. And managing people and all that stuff. So, you know, really think about like, hey, what do I want life to look like? You know what I mean? Like what kind of business do I truly want to have? And is it more focused on wholesaling and, you know, building a huge wholesaling operation? Or is it, hey, let me just build some processes, systems, you know, where I'm doing at least so many deals a month, whatever that number is. And then I'm just feeding into like the wealth building strategies, whatever that may be. Because dude, at the age you guys are, like getting into this now and like already having this success, like if you play your cards right, by 30, you could be set. Like, I mean, absolutely set, where you could almost retire probably if you wanted to, if you approach this the right way. So I would really, really think that through. And then obviously I'm here anytime you guys need me. You know what I mean? Feel free to reach out, and I'll answer any questions that you have, and, you know, give you that info as you need. But yeah. And so what I'm going to do too for you guys, and I told you this the other day, Sergio, usually like whenever someone gets their first deal or whatever, I'll send like champagne or like some kind of gift, whatever. You wanted, you know, RA Automator. So I'm going to give you guys a year annual membership to RA Automator. So you guys will have that throughout 2021 to use. And, you know, I'm telling you, man, I'm really, really proud of you guys. I'm extremely happy for you. Right. I just love seeing it when, you know, people like follow it, they get the success. I remember when I got my first deal, it changed everything, right? It's all concept to some degree in your mind of like, yeah, it works, but, you know, does it, like, I see it happening out here, but until it like happens to you and like you see that money hit the bank, it's just a whole nother level of reality. Am I wrong about that or no?
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember, you know, going to the title company, just holding the check, and it was an unreal feeling. And I
Oh man, a lot of money, man.
FaceTimed them, and, you know, we were just both excited, and, you know, we said to ourselves, like, this is the beginning, you know, because we want to build something big, and, you know, something that could change our lives, you know, build generational wealth. And that's what our goal is. And, you know, we got that proof of concept, which I feel is really important.
Yeah. What I love about the dynamic you guys have going right now as well is it's very similar to, I don't even know if you guys know this, you might, but I have a business partner as well in my real estate business. And when I started in 2010, and I wholesaled for the first few years by myself. And, you know, I met him in 2013, oddly enough, on Craigslist, right? So back then, Craigslist was huge. And I know people still use it. I don't use it nearly as much today. But, you know, yeah, that was it. We would run across each other's deals all the time and everything, because I would use it for sellers and I would also use it for buyers, and he would as well. And we just kept running across each other. So we got on the phone one night. And I don't know if you guys have heard this story or not, but we got on the phone and introduced ourselves to each other. Then, you know, we started talking about deals. He was a wholesaler. I was a wholesaler. And I said, hey, I have this lead, this highly desirable area. tomorrow I'm going to. So why don't we just meet up? And, you know, we did. And we went and checked out the house. And this was a crazy story just on the house. I won't go too far into that, but I guess the property management company, it's a big, big name, like brokerage too. So I won't want to blast them on here, but I think what had happened is the property manager moved in a friend or something and wasn't really like making them pay rent. So they owed this older lady that lived in North Carolina that owned this property in Ponte Vedra. It was like somewhere, if I remember right, $6,000 to $9,000, somewhere along those lines in back rent, right? And they had the keys there. The tenant moved out, completely trashed the place. So when I was talking to this seller, she was like, look, you're buying, I built a lot of rapport. She was like, you're going to buy this house. I'm going to see, you can go to the company tomorrow and tell them that I want you to give you the keys. So that's how that played out. And then I met him at that property management company, grabbed the keys, went there, walked the house. You know, we had like values and everything. It seemed like they were pretty much in line. And he was like, look, you know, what would you think if I brought the money? If I found the money for this deal and we actually flipped this house, right? Instead of me just locking it up and wholesaling. And I'm like, at that point, I'd never actually flipped the house, you know, fix and flip. So I was like, cool. Yeah, I'm down for that. And, you know, he brought the money. We both worked on it together. You know, had a great dynamic. And we actually made over 100 G's on that deal. I underestimated what the ARV was actually going to be. I thought it was going to be around like right around like 220 or something like that, I believe. And we ended up selling it for 260 in like the first day, 259.9. And, you know, we partnered up after that. But going back to the similar dynamic is I was acquisitions and like marketing. And then he was always like dispo, like, you know, the spreadsheet guy, you know what I mean? Like finances. He's got an MBA in finance. So we kept that. I mean, we're still business partners today. So, I mean, it's cool when, you know, you see something like this. It's like lifelong best friends almost. And you guys get in this together and, you know, you're crushing it. I mean, it's really, really cool to see it. That's where I'm getting at.
Oh yeah. And I think one of the best things like that we talked about was at first what we got into this, it was like, you know, money, you know, let's get the money. And then we started talking about it and it's like our job's like not to, you know, make money and rip people off. It's to provide value and, you know, help solve problems because you know, with the seller that we dealt with, at first he didn't like me, you know, since I was dealing with him, he didn't like me at all. And throughout the whole transaction, you know, you could see that we were building a relationship and just building rapport. And at closing, he was like, you know, thank you guys for, you know, what you guys did. You know, you helped me out a lot. And I mean, we even took a picture with the guy at the title company. It was awesome.
Yeah, man.
I was like, you know, we got to do it for, you know, our first deal, you know.
Sure.
But just, you know, I loved it. You know, I know he loved it as well. That, you know, we're problem solvers and that's what wholesalers are, you know. I know a lot of people look at wholesalers bad, but I think of it like, dude, we're here to solve people's problems and provide value to, you know, to sellers, and that's what I really love about it. I don't know, I just think that's the main part of the job.
Well, let me say this to that really quick. And Louisa, if you have something to add to that as well. But, you know, with that mentality, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to go very, very far in this business, right? Because just like you said before, I get these comments all day long, like across like social media and stuff. Say, oh, you know, just rip people off, this and that and the other. And it's like, no, you know, there's certain people that look at it like that because that's how they would approach it, right? So they're just thinking inside of this box versus looking at it as, hey, how many of these people have problems or they're in some kind of situation that they can't call a realtor and a realtor is going to help them in any kind of way. You know what I mean? Like a realtor is going to say, yeah, I can list your house, make sure it's all cleaned out, make sure it looks perfect. Like I'll list it for you. And you know, like some of these situations, like there is nobody really to help them other than, let's just say, a wholesaler. Even a lot of the actual cash buyers that do fix and flips and burrs and all that stuff, they don't want to deal with any of that stuff either, right? Like they have money, they just want the deal. So that's where a wholesaler's brilliance really comes into play. Is we're solutions company is really what we are more than anything else. Like we solve problems. We figure out, hey, what's going on here? How can we help? And you guys are a classic example of, even on your first deal, like you did a tremendous job at solving problems. A lot of people, man, as a first deal, probably wouldn't have got this done. Just to throw that out there. I mean, really, because you did face many obstacles along the way that you proved that you could just bust right through, which is awesome, right? Like you guys had to renegotiate the price. You had to get the tenant out, right? Like you had to find a new buyer. I mean, it just is. So you guys did an incredible job, man. And I'm super happy for you guys. And I have a really, really strong feeling that you guys are going to do really, really well. And I'm sure I'll be seeing a lot of you guys out there. You'll probably be freaking selling courses here soon,
I mean, like I was telling you, James, a lot of people started, texting me and telling me, like, mentor me and, teach us. But, like, I just feel like right now we're not at that level where, we could sell a course or anything. We still have a lot of learning to do ourselves.
No, I know.
If I could help someone out, then I'm going to help them out, because I know what it's like.
No, I was just joking around. I wouldn't expect you guys to do that. But you would be surprised at how many people, you know what I mean? Like they'll get that first deal and then they'll go out and they'll start selling courses and stuff like that. I mean, I stopped. I don't sell any courses anymore. I basically give any course away for free. Are you guys going to be on Wholesaling Lab, the live training? Do you even know about it?
Yes, we will.
I like that answer, but so you guys might not even know, but what I'm doing for all the RA Automator members is it's live, it's exclusive, it's free to them, and it's starting next week on Monday. And it's probably the first few days or so, like you guys are probably far, you're beyond that, but it's going to be virtual wholesaling training using RA Automator.
Yeah.
30 minutes a day. And it'll all be recorded and uploaded actually directly into RA Automator this time versus like the other courses in Kajabi. So this one it's going to be live, like where I'll be marketing live with everyone. We'll be making offers. We'll talk to some sellers, hopefully lock up some deals, hopefully sell some deals. So it's going to be really, really cool. But I'm doing that for free. I don't really have any plans to sell any more courses. I have plans to create more, but I want to keep giving away more and more free value to where it's like it's really the only thing that I sell is RA Automator. Because at the end of the day, I'm in the business, guys, just like, just like you are. I wouldn't consider myself a guru or anything like that, but I really am trying to like help people get those results. I'm not worried about course money, right?
I could agree on that because, like, every time I text you on Instagram, you text back. Or that time we dealt with the, escrow officer, you went out of your way to hop on a call with me and help me, find a solution to that problem. And like, we really appreciate it. I know Luis, we were talking about it. Not many people will go out of their way to help someone out, when they got a big business like the one you have, And that's something that, we really appreciated because, you helped us a lot throughout this deal. Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for saying that, man. That means a lot to me. And like I said, I'm super happy for you guys. Luis, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about or wrap up on? Or?
Yeah, I was going to say something earlier about when we were talking about providing value for the sellers. Because I know me and Sergio had this conversation when we were dealing with the property. Because one of the days, the grandson, he kicked us out of the house and completely like went off on us, right? And that day we were ready to walk. Like that was it. We were on our last straw. And I remember we were walking to the car and the neighbor, he called us and he was like, hey, are you guys buying it? This and that, right? And so he basically, because of that neighbor, he kind of gave us that push to like, look, keep going, And eventually, we started talking to him more and more. and the neighbor was basically telling us that the grandson had been terrorizing the neighborhood. And, you know, all of the neighbors, they can't even come outside. They can't let their kids come outside because of the guy, you know, the guy living there.
Wow.
So to hear all of the neighbors say, oh, thank you, you know, we really appreciate you guys doing this and fixing it up, you know, for the rest of us. Like, we really appreciate that. And that's something that we never even like talked about or even expected.
Yeah,
But after a while, you know, it was nice hearing that. Like, we're not just helping out the seller, but we're helping out the neighborhood. So that made us feel really good.
yeah, because you know, when he called us, I thought he was just gonna tell me to move my car, but you know, he was like, you know, guys, please get done. You know, like Luis was saying, he was, you know, thanking us for everything that we were doing. And I remember calling him. The place got cleaned up by our buyer, and I called him and I was like, hey man, how's everything looking? And he was like, dude, it hasn't looked as good in like years, you know. And I remember him telling me now kids can go outside, you know, they can go trick or treating without having to worry about him. And I mean, it touched my heart, you know, because like, you know, it affects a lot of people's lives, you know, not being able to have their kids go outside and play. And when we did that, you know, it was like we solved a lot of people's problems. And, you know, that was the driving force for us, you know, just trying to help those people out. And, you know, another thing I want to say is like for a lot of people that, you know, are going through, you know, getting their first deal is it's all a mental thing, you know. It's all in the mindset, and you know you're gonna have to call people, get rejected, get cursed at, the door slammed on you. But it's all in the mind, and you know if you keep pushing forward, you know, and if you keep trying to find that yes out of all those no's, you'll find it, you know, because a lot of people, you know, I try to help a lot of people out and get a lot of people to do wholesaling as well, and they didn't want to at first. You know, every time they told me, you know, let's see if it works for you first, you know. And I hated that response because whenever I was told about it, I was like, let's go, you know, like, let's do it.
That's the separator, man.
And like I said, you know, it's all a mindset thing. And if you guys, you know, keep pushing forward, you know, you're going to find that deal and you're going to get it locked up and you're going to make that, you know, that life-changing decision of going through with it. And it's going to change your life, you know, just like it did for us. And just keep pushing forward. That's all I got to say.
Great. That's great advice. Luis, you got anything for someone that's trying to get their first deal done or thinking about starting on this journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think just everything that Sergio said is great. Like, just keep going, you know, because we wanted to give up. We would cold call people and, oh, shut up, you know, quit calling me and calling us names and stuff. And it really took a hit on us, you know, because we're new. So we didn't really expect that, but it happens. And after a while, you know, we kind of like, we were able to deal with it. But that's just part of the business, you know? So, like, just keep going forward and be persistent, and keep doing everything. Like, have something to do every day to move forward, you know?
Yeah.
I think one thing that helped us out a lot was networking, like being able to talk to you, but also people in our area here in our market. We ended up going to an event that led us to another event that led us to another event, you know?
Nice.
And we just meet more and more people, and that's how we would also ask for advice, people here in the area, because of those events. So I think that helped us out a lot too, because a lot of people are willing to help, you know?
Yeah, and I think a big point too is, you know, it's never a question is like if the business works, right? Like the business works, we're the only variable there. So, you know, going back to what both of you said is it's like just making that decision, you know, and having the right mindset and just saying, look, I'm going to push through and, you know, this is inevitable to happen if I'm just willing to stay consistent, and persevere through all the no's to get to those yeses. And, you know, the people that don't make it are just the people that aren't willing, you know, they really don't want it bad enough, right? Like you got to want it really bad. And, you know, it's a simple business, but it's not necessarily easy. especially starting out. It becomes easier as you go along. Like for you guys now that you got your first deal, like the mentality changes and like, you know, just like your approach, right? Like there's a lot more confidence involved in there and everything else that's going to help you now find even more success faster, which is harder because you don't have that momentum starting out, you know, so it's harder for those people in the beginning. So you got to have that faith, right? And you got to make that commitment. So I love what both of you guys said there for anyone that wants to get started.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. Like you said, like people are doing it. It's just about if you're going to do it, but you have to decide that for yourself.
I got it right here. You know?
Oh, we threw it up big time, Adam. Oh,
Nice.
I just wanted to say thank you, you know, before we ended this, you know, for taking the time to give out the course, to like being able to like answer our texts. Like it helped us out a lot. And, you know, thanks to people like you and other people as well. Like you guys have definitely changed like our lives too, you know? So we wanted to say that before the end, you know, thank you for sharing and providing value.
Dude, it's absolutely my pleasure, man. That means a lot to me for you guys to say that. That's what it's all about. That's the reason that I even like do like this and like sharing everything, because I think about it, you know, all the time. It's like if I focus just all my energy like back into just the real estate business, like the real estate business could be even much further than it is today. But, you know, I like to think of it like this, like, but how can I help more people along the way, right? Versus just making it about me, you know, how can I like help other people as well and elevate them like alongside of me versus about just making it about me, right? So if I just focus on doing that instead of like, you know, trying to get back some and try to help some other people get into the business, then, you know, I'm just really focusing on me. And not really giving back as much as I could. So I appreciated it. You know, when I was starting out, there was like nowhere near, like, I mean, there was hardly any content out there. I mean, YouTube was even like freaking new, you know, when I started. So it was cool that one of the only guys that had content out at the time that I remember that I would watch it's actually Michael Jake. I don't even know. You guys probably never even heard of Michael Jake. But he was a pretty big piece. So like I was following along with his stuff, and that's how I like really like started digging into the concept of what it was. And you know, it's cool that how things come full circle. Now, you know, I'm friends with him, and I'm in a mastermind with him. So like whenever I first met him, I was actually able to go over there and say, dude, like, you know, like you're a big reason, like part of like how I even got into this business. So it's awesome, you know, to be able to do stuff like that. And I enjoy it, man. So I appreciate you guys for saying that. That means a lot to me. And I'm sure you're going to be helping, you know, helping other people along the way on your journey as well.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I get this on Snapchat?
No, bro. No, absolutely. Please.
Yeah. Where's the interview going to be at? YouTube or?
This will be on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. This will be on YouTube, and I'll make sure I send you guys everything too.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Guys, if you want to, you know, learn how to wholesale, you know, become a real estate investor, make sure to check out James the Hawk. You know, we're going to post the interview we just had with him on YouTube. You know, he's a big investor in Florida. Awesome guy. He helps us out a lot. So make sure to check him out.
Nice, bro. Nice. Very cool. And do you guys want any content or anything like that before we jump off? Because we'll edit all this stuff, so don't worry about it. You guys want any more content or no?
No, I mean, I think we're okay. I think.
Just probably get it on Instagram too,
Yeah, no, hell, dude, as much as you want, brother. As much as you want. Yeah. Luis is like, man, I ain't posting anything.
Yep, telling him that
Like, I'm gonna get tagged and all this stuff anyway. I don't even need to do anything.
no, and like I was saying, you know, like a big reason why I enjoyed the interview better than, you know, just winning REI through the story and getting, you know, why I prefer getting the chance to talk to you is, you know, being able to help, you know, get the opportunity to help more people, you know, because like people were, you know, texting us, you know, and it gives us the opportunity to give back, you know, the little we can, you know, right now. But
Dude, you tremendous. You guys provide a ton of value on this call for people starting out. I'm telling you, much more than you probably even think.
well, thank you. Man. We really appreciate, you know, you having us on here. We really
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
I appreciate you guys. So we'll wrap this thing up. Obviously, I'm here. Anything you guys need, let me know. We'll be getting you set up in our Automator probably this week, like tomorrow or Wednesday. And then that way you'll be good throughout the rest of the year, 2021. But guys, like anything you need, I'm always here for you. Just let me know, and I'll help you the best I can.
Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys.